teach thing. Oh, hey, you guys showed up. Hey, this is Joe coming in from Growing in the City. Today we're going to talk about Aurora Innovations, Roots Organic Soils, and Transplanting. So, Roots Organic Original. I've been using this for years. Now, I've tried all types of soils, and we're going to talk about another soil I used in just a moment, but I've used this for years. I've tried others that are on the market. I won't mention any names, but I seem to find my way right back to the roots, organic. So I started with the original, fantastic product, excellent, I love it a lot. This is the 1.5 cubic yard bag. And since then they've come out with another formulation, the 707 in the 3 cubic yard for much bigger jobs. Love this product. I'm using this quite a bit right now. I still from time to time use the original depending on the project that I'm working on. And so let's talk about a little bit more about the transplanting. We're going to keep this as a brief video, maybe. As you can see, we have different sizes here. Now, this particular soil here we used, it was a new soil that came out. I won't mention the name. I looked at it and I said, okay, I'm going to plant, and this is from seed. So I wanted to see exactly how this soil here, it's very, very dense, very thick. It looks and appears to be very rich. However, I think the problem with that soil is they don't have very much perlite in it. Now, when you look at the Roots Organic product, it has copious amounts of perlite. Perlite is for drainage and also for aeration, because as the plant grows further into the season, what you're going to find is that the root ball gets very dense, and if you have a lot of perlite in your mix, you're going to find you're going to get the drainage and the aeration. So when you're watering, you'll notice it will go down much faster. So you really want lots of perlite. Now, if you're working with a soil without enough perlite, you can always add additional perlite in. Now, be careful when you're working with perlite. You do need to wear a dust mask or a respirator. Protect your lungs always. And remember, just because it's organic doesn't mean it's safe for you to be around and inhaling it, okay? So always remember that. So back to this project here. So I just let it go in its natural state. I wanted to see what would happen in this particular soil. Now in this soil here, and I'm going to come to the camera and I'm going to show you a little difference here. Come on up. So you can probably see this is the soil here. Hopefully you can see inside there. There's very little perlite. It's very negligible. I don't even know if there is any in there. I'll have to check the bag that I used. But now let me show you the Roots Organic in here, and you can see if you look inside there, it is absolutely loaded with copious amounts of perlite. Now these all 5 of these plants were all planted at the exact same time. Now we don't know the sex of the plant yet, whether it's male or female. Now when I look at certain cultivars, I look and I say, oh yeah, that shows traits of a male plant. Fast growing, dominant, it's got a nice stretch into it. Now this is actually a back cross that I did with one of my other cultivars. That's going to be a video for another day, but when you look at the difference of a good aerated soil for you're getting oxygen to the root zone, you've got good drainage. What we have here is we have stunted growth, and you can see there just a slight little bit of yellowing. It's not very rich. Like this plant here is very nice, perfect green colors, good leaf structure. It looks awesome. So you can see the difference when you're using certain soils. Now, I'm not trying to knock the soil here, and I think if I had added the perlite, I may see a different result. So pay attention to your soils, see what they have for add-ins. So when we look at the Roots Organic line, let's take a look at what's in this configuration of this blend. Let me give you the story. Formula 707 was created for the special kind of gardener. Are you a special kind of gardener? I think so. Who wants to control their own destiny. Formula 707 is different from the other natural growing mixes created by Aurora Innovations. It was designed with greater water holding capacity, less perlite and pumice, and specific ingredients for large container gardening. In fact, last year I did 30-gallon cloth pots, and I used the 707 exclusively in those, and we did absolutely phenomenal. So you can go back and check some of my prior videos on that. And so let's get back to the read. In fact, the bag itself is a 30-gallon grow bag. So in this three-yard bag, 3 cubic yard bag, this is actually a grow bag. You'll notice on the bottom that's pleated, so that when you open this up and it's already perforated with holes, you just open it up, roll the sides down, and you've got an instant grow bag wherever you are. So if you're doing a remote location, you've got a grow bag. If you're doing a big op, you've already got a grow bag. So that's really nice. I like that. That was creative thinking for you guys at Aurora Innovations. Good job. Now, let's see. Grow bag containing just less than 20 gallons of the finest quality potting mix. Just poke holes in the bottom, cut off the top, and plant. Aurora Innovations was founded in Eugene, Oregon by a group of conscientious organic gardeners. We are dedicated to bringing you superior, unique, natural, and organic gardening products. You can be assured that Aurora Innovations has searched the world over, and I can attest to that. They go around the world sourcing the best of the best, and spared no expense to bring you only the finest quality, specially selected natural and organic ingredients in Roots Organic products. Phenomenal. So let's look at the ingredients. Peat moss, composted forest material, perlite, cocoa fiber, pumice, worm castings, bat guano, soybean meal, and that's non-GMO, just to point that out, fish bone meal, and kelp meal. This is an excellent, excellent blend, guys, and I can attest that I ran the 707 last year, and the production was phenomenal, the growth was phenomenal, very vibrant, just everything about it I really, really liked, and I can't say enough about this product. It's great. Now, there's a lot of good soils on the market. I'm not trying to say anyone's any better, but if you've been doing it for a while, you kind of know when you switch to different soils, and I did that over this past winter. I switched to different soils, and I found different results from 3 different soils, and I seem to go right back to the Roots Organic as my base material. And then, you know, you add your top dressings. They have a full line of top dressings. Highly recommend you look into that. I'll do another product video on their liquid nutrients and their dry amendments that will be added in, so stay tuned for that coming up. So what we're going to do today is we're going to transplant these 4 plants because we have stunted growth. It's almost like they're just stopped, and I don't want that. I want to see what these cultivars will express. So let's do a little repotting. Now I'm gonna work with the original on these pots here, and for this test. Now we're gonna switch over to a square pot. Now there's benefits to running square pots because they can go butt right up to each other. So if you're running in a tight space and you don't have a lot of extra real estate, you can take and put these together. You can see how tight we can get here. Now when you're running circles, you can only you lose a little bit of area. So depending on your situation, square pots or round pots may be the benefit, or even a cloth bag. Now, so what I like to use, let's just get this set up. Take this bag out of the way. Now I recommend that if you're going to do this, if you don't have an outdoor area, I like to use this nice little bin here because I can capture any of the spill off or the droppings. I hate to waste anything when you pay good money for it. So in this case here, we're just going to put these pots in. We're going to get ready. Now I'm going to grab a couple of other items that I want to use to prep this. So bear with me one second. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple of the top dressing Uprising Grow and Uprising Foundation. So I'm going to mix just a tiny bit of that in there, just so I have a little extra in the mix. And then as this grows through the season, I'll add in the top dressings recommended in the instruction manual inside of any of their liquid nutrients. They have a beautiful feeding schedule in there. I recommend that you follow that feeding schedule. It works phenomenal. Do the top dressings because they compost down into the soil. And you got to remember that this plant is a bioremediating plant. That means it pulls everything out of the soils and it stores it inside the plant. So you want to replace what it's taking out by using the top dressing. So definitely want to check that out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to open up the bag here. And I probably should have brought a razor out with me, but I didn't. So I'm just going to poke a hole and then do a tear. There we go. I'm not going to be using these bags for grow. Now what I like to do is I don't open up the bag completely. I usually just cut a corner off so I can pour it in. That's what we're going to do now. Take the bag. Keep these close together. Another thing I like about the squares, when you go to pour in, you don't lose very much. But again, I have this nice little mixing bucket here that I can use to catch any spillover. So we don't waste any of the product. I'm just going to put a little base in there. Now I have probably about 3 inches in there now. Just break it up a little bit so it levels out. Now I want to test the depth by just placing my little round one in there. And that looks like a good spot for me. I want to leave a little bit of room at the top so that I can, when I water it, it'll spill over. If I want to do top dressing or add any other amendments on top, or worm castings or guanos, any of that stuff, I'll have a little bit of extra room. So now we know that we've got the right depth. Yep, that looks perfect. Now what I'm going to do, I think some of you may have seen me do this before, is I'm going to pour the product in and then pack it around the sides, and then when I take that other part out, I'm going to have a nice little plug hole that I can drop the plant right into. I love this technique. So I'm just going to open this up just a little bit more so we can get a good pour. There we go. Just pour it right on top of the other existing pot and let that thing go in. All that soil will drop in there nicely. There we go, it's going in nice. Just let it drop in. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to pack it, and I'll probably pour just a little bit more on top. Yep, there we go. And we got one last one. I'm going to do is just gently move it around each one of these. Now I'm just going to pack it in around it. Okay. This really, a little extra effort when you do this helps quite a bit when you go to do the transplant, and just kind of the plug just drops in and you do a little bit of cover on the top. You'll see in just a moment. I'll bring it up closer with the camera to take a look at that. I think some of you may have seen one of my other videos where I actually did this process. Okay. So now you can see that it's basically all in there. Now I'm going to take out the other pot inside. I'm just going to give it just a little twist and a wiggle, and then take it out. Now you can see we've got a nice, hopefully you guys can see that, we got a nice little plug hole right inside here. So now when we do the transplant, just pop this little extra right into the catch. will capture that excess. Now I just like to give it just a little press. Put your 2 fingers over the plant and just give it a little drop, and you can see, here we go. Now you can see the roots on there. They're not very impressive. They look like they weren't really doing a lot. So we'll see the difference, and I'll do another video after these get settled in on this plant here. So now we just drop it right into the plug hole, boom, give it a little shake, grab some of the little extra, and boom, there we go. It's all in real nice. So again, one more time, we'll show you. Kick the little wiggle out. Get excess dropping into the plant. Okay, just loosen it up, fingers over, just like this, drop it, pops right out. Now, normally what I like to do is to transplant these when they're dry. Now these were a little bit moist, but I wanted to get this video done for you guys so you could see this. Plus the fact that they weren't growing well in this type of soil, I needed to get it out of there. So I thought it was an opportunity to actually show the differences. So that's basically it, guys. I appreciate you checking us out, and stay tuned for more episodes of Growing in the City. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. Stay tuned for more episodes coming soon.